Hey everybody, welcome to Culinary Characters Unlocked. I'm David Page. On this episode, a chef who was born in Jamaica, cooked in Paris, and found a home in a place that might not come to mind when you think of great dining, Oklahoma City. He won a James Beard Award there, 2023 Best Chef Southwest. Here's Andrew Black. Chef, how you doing? Thanks for joining me.
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing great. And you?
I could not be better.
Awesome.
I'm delighted to speak to someone in Oklahoma City. I went to college at OU in Norman and worked at a radio station in Oklahoma City 50 years ago.
Wow. When was the last time you were back in OKC?
Oh, gosh, it was maybe 10 years. And you had a minor league baseball park then. I remember that. That was good. But I would think the city has grown up a bit since my day.
A bit is an understatement. It has tremendously changed night and day.
Yeah, but still, no insult to the city intended. When you say fine dining, when you say adventurous dining, not a lot of folks are going to think Oklahoma City. What's going on there?
A lot of folks might not think Oklahoma City a couple years ago, but now we are a state that people are traveling to for fine dining, and not just fine dining, may I add. I mean, there's a lot of great chefs here that with so much great restaurant that I often say this, you can come to Oklahoma City and have a different cuisine 7 days a week. That's how diverse we are now.
What has caused that change, do you think?
I came here late 2006, opened the Skirvin in 2007, and I've watched it grow slow and steady.
Skirvin Hotel.
Yes, but I watched Oklahoma City grow slow and steady. And we're not the group that just get up every day and wave a flag and say, we have arrived. We're that kind, if you know, you know. But what happened, or what I think happened over the pandemic, a lot of people that have roots from Oklahoma, they were living out of this place, LA, New York, Chicago. But when the pandemic, they came back. And some of these people were writers. They are on TV station. They're in the media social light. And I think when they came back, they're like, holy shit, look what I've missed. Oklahoma has got it going on. And so the attention keeps coming and coming. And that's when people are now discovering, oh, Oklahoma is a force to be reckoned with where food is concerned. And then we won a James Beard.
Yes, you won a James Beard Award, 2023.
Yes.
You won the James Beard Award for Best Chef in the Southwest.
Exactly.
Presumably beating out everybody in Dallas.
Right.
And Houston, all
the way to Vegas.
Wow.
Apart from that, we continue to have a ton load of nominees. Like this year, I think we have 7. So it's a strong food culture that is here. And I often said, we haven't even lifted off yet.
Well, I want to go through the story of how you got here.
Okay.
You're certainly not a native Oklahoman.
I feel like I have now. Been here going on 19 years.
Okay, you're an Okie, but where were you born?
Oh, I was born in Jamaica. Yeah, I was born in Jamaica and traveling, lived and worked all over.
In reading about you, it says you were born into an Indo-Jamaican family. What is that?
My father's side, what a lot of people don't know, throughout the Caribbean, there's a lot of Indians. There's a lot of Indians throughout the Caribbean. Some of them came on the spice slave ship. Some came when the Caribbean needed horticultural help and they just never went back. So when you look at Trinidad, Jamaica, Guyanese, there's a lot of Indians. And so my mother is Hindu. And so I grew up cooking the roti, the puri, the curry, the dal, all those things. These Indian dishes, I grew up on those things, eating them.
Your grandmother, your father's mother lived with you?
I lived with my grandmother. I remember her, we would make what we call the fireside, but we use clay to make it, and that's what we cook everything on. Imagine a stove being outside, but made out of clay, and on the top you're putting your wood, and that's where you put your pot in, and that's where you cook everything. So it amazed me now to see people cooking with wood or live fire. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how I grew up. It's like, little did I know those full circle was going to come around where it's a thing now. Well, back home, in the country, that's how we cook.
Economically growing up, were you well off?
That's a very good question. I think when I look back now, when I was younger, it was always in our head we're dirt poor. dirt poor. But now when I look back, I think we were rich and just didn't know. Because think about it. Farm to table, we didn't know that terms, we didn't know those words, but we did that every day. We had every fruits and veg we could think of. We had proteins because we had goat, we got pork, chickens, you name it, we had it. Rabbits, we had all those things. Did we have electricity? No. Were we in the country? Yes. Were we getting the new Nike or whatever to wear? Absolutely not. But where food is concerned, we were very rich. I just didn't know as a kid. But now that I look back, now that I open a Caribbean Hindu restaurant, I'm like, my God, look at all those fruits we had. Sneezeberry, star apple, jackfruit, sugarcane, apple, you name it, we had it. So to answer your question, I think we were rich but didn't know.
Well, how did you get into food as a career? Did you start in Jamaica?
I started in Jamaica. I started with my grandmother to begin with. I wasn't as educated as my other brothers. They were as smart as it gets. I mean, overly smart. So I didn't go to the fancy school. I go to what we call a secondary school. But I'm glad I did because right there and then, I just knew what I wanted to do.
Was this high school age?
It's kind of, let me see, that's not high school. That would be like you go to secondary school would continue almost like a junior college, so to speak. Back then you had a class called home economics. I don't know if you remember that. You're probably too young to remember that.
I'm not too young. I remember home ec.
I know, I'm giving you a hard time. But, back then as a boy, you kind of hide and go to that class because you're teased. You're in a girl class. It's home economic. Well, I tell you what, it was one of the best things I enjoyed it. I still remember my teachers, still all those fun times. Yeah.
So when did you get your first professional cooking job?
I walked into a hotel 13, 14 and started cooking. I worked in a hotel called Buscabel Beach Hotel. I was juicing 3,000 orange a day. I was cleaning 18 fridge a day. Then I had to go learn to be a butcher with a guy named Archibald McKell. I'll never forget. Huge guy, man. He used to be scared going in that butcher shop. But I did that for almost 2 years for free. And then that hotel turned around and sent me to college in Ohio.
Wait.
Yeah.
You worked for free at a hotel that paid for you to go to college in the U.S.?
Yeah. Because it was at the time, I worked there for free and then they employed me. And so I've worked there for lots of years, a lot of years. But then what happened, the government had passed a program where they invest in sending people to study. And I was one of those kids who got the opportunity to go and study.
So you went to Ohio. What college?
Hawkins College in Nelsonville, Ohio. One stop light. Probably never heard of it. Hawkins sits down in the valley. You have Columbus, then you go down the valley is Hawkins. Most people never heard of Hawkins or Nelsonville. And then you go up to Athens.
So were you studying
hotel management and culinary arts?
What happened when you graduated?
I went back to Jamaica because we had to go back there to kind of do back a 2-year deal. And that's when the HR manager, God bless her soul, Pat James, I become like their kid. So everyone looked out for me. And that's when they said, you can go wherever you want to work. You've done your time. And so I went to work for the competition. Sanders Beaches, Turks and Caicos. So worked at that hotel, 85 staff, 10 restaurants, and the rest is history, man. I've been traveling and working ever since.
And we'll be right back. You worked at a bunch of resorts in the Caribbean?
Yeah.
But then you came back to the States.
I came back to the States from Turks, went to the Peabody. That's where I got my real first job in America.
The legendary Peabody Hotel in Memphis.
The legendary Peabody, yeah. I worked for one of my mentors, still my good friend, Andres Kissler, chef from Austria. He's still there too. Just really, really, really good guys,
What'd you learn there that you didn't learn in culinary school?
Well, I was way past culinary school by then. Remember, I left culinary school. I went back, worked throughout the Caribbean, executive sous chef in Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, all over. So by the time I went to the Peabody, I was full-fledged running, hotels and all that stuff. But one thing I learned from there, not to knock anyone, but people always said the French make the best sauce. I'm here to tell you the Austrians are the best. Literally, hands down. And that was my second chef from Austria. So I've learned foundation and depth of making sauces, where acid is concerned. I learned that people are utilizing acid in all these things now. I've learned that years ago, over 28 years ago. I've learned that from these Austrian chefs that I used to work for.
You were executive sous chef there.
Yeah.
The Peabody, they're famous for walking the ducks across the lobby, right?
That's correct.
Are those ducks pleasant?
They're very pleasant. And we don't cook them there, okay?
No duck on the menu?
No.
And right across the street down that alley is Rendezvous Barbecue, right?
Rendezvous. Absolutely. I think it got to be still there. I haven't been to Memphis in a long time.
Oh, no, I was there just 3 or 4 years ago.
Really?
Same as ever. Those incredible ribs.
Yeah.
And what's weird about that is, barbecue is supposed to be low and slow, and they cook their ribs hot and fast.
But everybody loves it.
Oh, it's great. So you spent some time at the Peabody. Then you went to Europe. What happened?
So I was going on and off to the Ritz in Paris.
Doing what?
Cooking.
How'd you get that job from the Peabody?
The Peabody is in charge of sending me there. They knew I wanted to further my study. They knew I wanted to continue what I'm doing. So Doug Brown, which is, I think he's still the GM there, or still has something to do with the Peabody. He and Andres Kissler decided, hey, let's send him over there. And I tell you, that was one of my best experience.
What did that add to your arsenal?
You know what? It made me realize that there's a 16-year-old kid out there 10 times better than me. No matter how old I am, no matter how much I think I know, no matter what I'm doing. But the preciseness, the consistency, just that will, they have that will is like, we have to be better today than yesterday. That's where I learned that. Yeah. It's like every day was a competition in that kitchen. The TV cameras, the press was always in that kitchen there.
How about just living in Paris and eating in Paris? What did that do for you?
A lot, but I work more than anything else. So it was great, though. I mean, the food there is just fantastic. It's the ingredients. It comes down to ingredients. They have the better ingredients. But, I've seen America also grown so far because now you can get those ingredients in America where you doesn't miss a beat. Same thing.
Okay, so you've been in Memphis, which is a happening town. You've been in Europe. You get a chance to move to Oklahoma City. And again, not to disparage Oklahoma City, but if I'm in Paris cooking and someone says, hey, you can move to Oklahoma City, I'm not sure the answer is yes. What'd you do? Why'd you do it?
Well, I was at the Peabody cooking.
Oh, you were back.
Yes, I was at a Peabody, and then I got a call to open a hotel in Milwaukee. It was an Intercontinental then. They were trying to go trendy, new cuisine, what's going on. And they knew I was doing that at the Peabody. So I got a call to go there, but then they called me back and said, how about Oklahoma City? I said, where the hell is that? I said, because I'm not going to Oklahoma City. But I came down here and I met a gentleman named John Williams. We're still good friends today. Another one of my mentor. And he said to me, if you don't believe the best people in the world are in Oklahoma, when you finish this interview, go and ask for Bricktown. He said at least 3 or 4 people is going to say, hey, I'll show you around. Well, I did that. It happened. And I said, you know what? Let me give this state a chance. Let me do 1 year. So I moved there. I did not unpack. I'm like, I'm not dying in this town. Well, guess what? 19 years going on 20. I'm still here. You know why? The people, it's the best town. This is home for me. I can't picture myself living somewhere else in that scene. The friends I've developed around here.
That's great. Let's summarize your early years in Oklahoma. There's a historic hotel there, the Skirvin. When I was working on the radio there in college, Sunday mornings, driving around in the news cruiser looking for news, I would occasionally stop and have breakfast at the Skirvin. Now, apparently it had closed.
Yes, it was closed for a long time. Very long time. And so I came back and reopened it in 2007. And when I opened that hotel, it was the big thing. It's what people seen. And even till today, because I have a restaurant in there now, even till today, it's still the Grand Hotel.
The Grand Dome.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. They don't make these hotels anymore.
No, they don't. So you open a restaurant there, then you work at a hotel and someplace else in Oklahoma?
When I opened that, I was the guy who opened Flint and Vass in the Devon Tower. And then from that, I knew I wanted to open my own restaurant. So I went and opened Gray Sweater, Black Walnut back then, and the rest is history.
Well, as I understand it, this is your first restaurant, and it's a 3-restaurant concept or something?
Yes.
What was it? What were the restaurants?
It was Gray Sweater, Black Walnut, and La Baguette.
Gray Sweater, which we'll talk about in a minute, is a fine dining temple. Black Walnut was what, a casual place?
It was a place that is filled with a bold American flavors.
And what was the third one?
La Baguette was a pastry shop that my business partner owned. So we just opened another location. So that's something that has been around forever.
Opening your first restaurant, how do I say this politely? It takes big brass ones to start out opening 3 places at once, doesn't it?
I don't think so. I think it's a mindset. It's just like anything else. You gear yourself up, you get the right people around you, you're dedicated to it, you work at it morning, noon, and night. Some people are built for it. Some people are, gets it, while some people are built for it. So for me, it was like the natural thing to do. Were there stumbles in the way? Was it harder? So absolutely. But for me, it was like, this is what we're doing.
But it's the riskiest business in the world.
It is, but life is the risk.
Coming right back. I want to focus on Gray Sweater.
Okay.
A, it's the one that's still open. B, it is so highly regarded. And it was your work there that got you the James Beard Award, right?
Yes.
Okay. What is Gray Sweater?
I work for all these companies, and everyone would tell you to do your best. But then when you do your best, they'd reel you back in and said, I think you're a little too far out there. You're above the time. People don't want what you're trying to give them to eat. They just want this. And so I knew all along I wanted to open a restaurant without boundaries and barriers. So when you think of Gray has no allegiance. No matter what food you fell in love with today, we're going to move on because we don't care about where it's a journey. It's a space where us as cooks, dishwasher, servers, we ask a lot of questions and creating this path we keep coming up with answers for. Gray has no allegiance.
You mean it's not black and it's not white?
It's not black, it's not white. But the most important part of this, it is the sweater. Because beside of the fancy cutlery, glassware and everything, is how we made you feel.
So how do you make me feel when I come eat there?
Well, first you have to do, which I can't tell you the interview, but first we conduct a 2-minute interview with you before you can dine with us.
Well, what do you ask me? What I like?
Well, that's what I said. I can't tell you everything we do because then I'm giving away everything. But when you dine with us, we know a lot about you before you even step into the room. So by then, we're making you feel like home. We're making you feel like somewhere where you didn't know you wanted to go on this journey, but when you get there, you don't want to leave. And before you leave, chances are you're making the next reservation.
So am I getting a different meal than the guy at the next table?
Yeah, because, well, it depends. We offer a 7-course and a 10-course, and both are different.
So it's tasting menu only?
It's a tasting menu only, reservation only. You don't get a menu.
You don't tell me what I'm going to eat?
No, you never see a menu. There's never a menu. You don't get a menu. You show up and we cook for you.
What kind of food?
It's not a cuisine because those are dead days. We source ingredients from all over. We're in about 20 countries. It's a storytelling of creation of dishes and food. For example, there's one dish that we give to you. When you sit down, we put it in front of you. You eat with your hands and we kind of just give it to you and we walk off.
What might that have been?
Well, the dish is a certain dish. We put it in front of you. We said, here's your dish. You may use your hand to eat this. And then we walk off. But by the time you're eating that dish, we're already timing you and we're watching you and we know what's going on in your head. Then we come back over and we ask you what you think that dish is. And chances are you'll never get it. But then we tell you and you're like, holy shit.
And you're not going to tell me today what that might be. Okay.
No. And then you get a spoon to eat the sauce and everything. And then there's other dishes. We have our scallop that is cooked in a Bermonte.
You know what?
It's cooked in butter and it's served with Kaluga caviar. And we create several different sauces and everything that goes with it. The menu continues to change. It changes. So, my God, there's so much dishes we have been through already. I can't even remember some of them.
Come on, let's go through a couple dishes.
Okay. I remember one time way back, we did an oxtail dish and we cooked this oxtail, take it off the bone, roll it, freeze it, take it out back, sear it, serve it.
Wait, why do you roll it and freeze it?
Because you want to keep the shape of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you take it off the bone, dismantle the bone, you roll it, you freeze it, you take it back out, slice it, you pan sear it. And a lot of people, that was their first introduction to a highly intense oxtail. Then we make these, I think it was pumpkin caviar that we serve on top of it, and beluga with potato, but then it's served in a dark Guinness stout sauce. It's a lot of components that goes with dishes when we develop them, but it's neither black or white, so we tend to try and throw it away and say, let's move on to something else we don't know.
Give me another dish as an example. I'm getting hungry.
Okay. We have this cone that we make, right?
A what?
Cone.
What's that?
Ice cream cone.
Oh, pardon me. Okay.
Yeah.
You left out the first half of it.
Yeah, we have this ice cream cone that we make, and we filled it with a certain thing that goes in it, right? And it's one of our signature dish. So I'm just going to tell you briefly. It's meant to take you on this wild journey of hot and cold. The whole idea of the restaurant is built in imagination. It's built in take you on this journey. It's built and take you on these memorable moments. And so that is one of those dish that is memorable when guests comes there. It's not just really about the dishes. There's so many dishes we have created, but it's the moment, the space, and the in-depth of everything. The kitchen is located in the restaurant. So you're seeing everything what happened in front of you. It's a tasting menu, chef tasting menu. It has its own bar. It's a place where you have cocktail menu, wine menu, water menu, all that stuff.
A water menu? How do I say this politely? Many people would say that's pretentious as hell.
It's a new world, young man. It's not pretentious at all. Diners are looking for adventures. Diners are looking for new things. Diners are looking for education. And we at Grey Sweater, we do all of that. It's like, what's next? What more can we bring to the table? There are going to be more. Is Grey Sweater going to go to your next level? We're already there, but we continue to search for the unknown. And not necessarily unknown, because I truly believe everything has been done already. It's the path of the journey that we're on and want to take our customer on.
Okay, next restaurant. After that, you went back to the Skirvin Hotel and you opened Pearl Mesta. Now, a lot of people don't realize Pearl Mesta was like Washington's hostess with the mostest.
The mostest, yes.
Back when? A long time ago.
She was the one who even represented us in Lexington. She brought everybody to Oklahoma.
She was in the Skirvin family, right?
Yes, she was, yes.
Okay, so you go back to why'd you go back to the Skirvin? Why'd you open Pearl Mesta? What is Pearl Mesta?
It's always been my roots, and, it was just the right thing to do, to go back where I started and put a restaurant in there. The cuisine is based in possibility. I think we ask ourselves a lot of questions about food, what is possible. One of the dishes on that menu that truly speak about the cuisine is okra. We've seen okra cooked in so many ways, but we have this okra on the menu. It is breaded in cornflakes, then fried, then tossed in Parmesan cheese and truffle oil, and candied lamb belly. That is over it.
Hold on, I will be right there. That's amazing.
There you go, yeah.
How'd you invent that?
Because you ask yourself questions, possibility. That is what the cuisine is based on. It's a restaurant that happened to locate in a hotel, but it's absolutely not a hotel restaurant. The cuisine there speaks for itself. It's a vibrant place, beautiful place. We kept a lot of the integrity of the place there, but you feel like you're Paris a little because of how it's decorated. But it made sense for me to put a restaurant there. I love it. It's like, that's my home. That's where it all started.
What cuisine would you say this menu is?
Well, that's what I said. It's based on possibility. The cuisine is possibility cuisine.
Okay, I'm looking. You got a venison dish, you got a duck dish, you got scallops. Is there any is it French at heart?
No. We live in a world as chef now where we're not trying to build a restaurant based on a certain cuisine, because there's so much access to food and everything out there. Or unless you wake up and said, I'm opening a French restaurant, an Italian restaurant, or any of that, then that's different. But for a chef that have a free-flowing restaurant, it's not a certain cuisine. It's an artist creating dishes of masterpiece. And that's what it is.
How much, one of the buzzwords these days is local, and you mentioned bringing things in from everywhere. How much of what you do is local?
Not a lot. Not a lot, probably 3%.
And why have you made that choice?
It's hard to get things local. The demand is really huge. We have a ton load of restaurant now, and consistency and the weather, it's hard to produce a lot here.
So you're bringing stuff in from everywhere.
We bring stuff from everywhere. Yeah.
You recently opened a new restaurant.
Yes.
I guess it went in the same space as Black Walnut.
We're Black Walnut. Yep.
Well, first of all, why'd you close Black Walnut? And secondly, tell me about the new place.
Well, I closed it because it was time to move on. I got bored.
Everything has an end date?
Yeah, it's like when you're drawing an artwork, right? When you set out to draw a piece or create an art sculpture, when you do everything on it and the drawing is finished, what do you do with it? You don't continue to draw on it. You don't continue to, it's done.
So this casual place was done.
So that was Black Walnut. It was perfect. It had its place, but I've been sitting on Douglas for a while.
Okay, the name of the place is Douglas.
Douglas. So I wrote that down over 2 years ago that I wanted to do that cuisine, but I was a little scared of doing it because you never know if people are going to love the food you grew up on.
What is the cuisine?
It's a Caribbean Indo cuisine.
It's the stuff you grew up with.
Yes.
And Douglas is a slang word that, does it have a bad connotation?
So Douglas was a word that was used as a derogative word back in the days.
What did it mean?
It was used to describe people of mixed culture throughout the Caribbean. People on the whole saying, hey, you're Douglas, you're a mix. Maybe you don't belong here or so. That's the term it was used on. But now it's the word that we all embrace because we're all mixed throughout the Caribbean.
On the website for the restaurant, you say Douglas is a love letter to your grandmother.
It is.
In what way?
Because I'm cooking all the dishes I grew up cooking beside her.
Like what?
It's a combination of Caribbean food and Indian food. So you think about the tamarind chutney, the mint chutney, the roti.
Roti being...
Roti is an Indian dough.
Gotcha.
It's an Indian dough, and then there's jerk chicken, there's escovitch fish, there's all those stuff on it.
I'm looking at some of the dishes here. You have a guava barbecue glazed pork chop. Tell me about that dish.
That's a dish from Puerto Rico, and a Puerto Rican uses pork. It's a huge pork. It has the bone in it, the fatty part and everything. So it is literally, we crispy up the fat part on it, we pan fry it, but then we use this barbecue glaze guava that we brush it with and finish it with. It is then served with something called ton cornmeal. Ton cornmeal is like, imagine you're getting a polenta, but it is burst with flavors, cheese and flavors and everything that goes with it.
Tell me about the jerk chicken. I mean, I know jerk chicken from the Caribbean, but I guess you put an Indian spin on this?
No, that's traditional. All these flavors are traditional, authentic flavors. So the jerk chicken is done how a jerk chicken is done in Jamaica.
So what's a dish that combines...
If you notice on the jerk chicken, it is then served. That's a combination of the Jamaican side and the Indo side because it is then served with the tamarind chutney and the mint chutney.
Ah.
Yeah. Normally jerk chicken is served with a hot sauce, but this is served with the tamarind chutney and mint chutney.
It's kind of a dumb question. You grew up eating this. I guess those two cultures' flavors go together?
I don't, I understand that question, but I think the world is, how do we put it together? Does that make sense? I think so many things go together, but there were so many rules that says what don't work. But I think we as chefs now have crossed those lines where like, this is a story I want to tell. This is my imagination. This is how I think this is going to complement this. I think we're kind of in the past of like, oh, this goes with that, or that is too kind of cut, dry, slim. I think we're in the path of like, I want to take you on this experience. I want to give you this beautiful jerk chicken, but guess what? I'm going to put a tamarind chutney with it and a mint chutney because I wanted to cool down the heat a little with those things in it. Years ago, you would probably never think of those going together, right? Because they were these defined rules. But I think those things are old and gone out the door right now.
I'm looking at the menu again, and I'm fascinated by this. Curry goat gnocchi?
Yeah. So that's a curry goat, and we make these sweet plantain gnocchi, and we toss it in the curry goat. We cook the curry goat separate.
Wait, plantain gnocchi?
Yeah, we make the gnocchi, but you still get potato, but you get some more plantain in it. So make a gnocchi out of it, and that's what you toss in it.
You've been open, I guess, a little over a month.
Or not even a month yet, no.
How's business?
Good.
Based on your reputation, the locals said, what the hell, let's give it a try?
Yeah. And also curious. People want to know what it is. People want to try those stuff.
Is Caribbean cooking becoming more of a thing in the U.S.?
I think so. I think, again, with modern times and how, we've been hidden away for so long, and I think people are making a firm decision to say, no, this is what we grew up with. This is our culture. This is what we're cooking.
The economic climate for restaurants is kind of rough these days.
It is, yes.
What do you see going forward?
I tell you what, we look at it now and we're saying it's hard, but if you look at everything what's happening now, it has happened before and before and before and before. Great Depression, World War II, all those things has happened before. So I think it's a time we're going through, but it's going to change. It has to.
Well, we talk about tough times. The situation regarding views on immigration has certainly impacted the restaurant business.
Absolutely.
Has it impacted you?
Oh, absolutely. People are scared to come out and work. It's a thing. It's real. It's real.
What can you do about that, if anything?
God. I don't know if there's much we can do, to be honest. I don't know if it is much we can do. I think, it brings me back. There's a song in Jamaica, if you know, you know, but the entertainer said, let me paraphrase a little, but part of it, the song says, have you ever seen a 45 before? But it goes on to say, do you know how it feels when somebody hold you and said, this is your last day? So to paraphrase that a little, and you said, well, what can we do? When you're in a situation and you're going to be held and said, hey, you're going home, guess what? What can you do?
That's depressing as hell.
What can you do?
Let's get back on a more uplifting note. What do you see for your future? More restaurants?
Definitely more restaurant, but also giving back a lot to not say the younger generation, but so also my people who helped me on this journey. How, continue to set up a platform where when the people take this journey with me, said, hey, we're tired, we don't want to do it anymore, set up something where there's still money coming to us.
What sort of structure? What do you think?
We don't know. We're working on it. It's how do we take care of each other down the road still? Those are the questions we're asking. Those are the platform we're setting up. Those are the questions we're asking. Those are the direction we're trying to go. So when you said what's in the future, it's all those things. Giving back, teaching, molding the next generation, taking care of the ones around me, and opening more restaurants, definitely. There's no plan to slow down. Zero.
You seem to be doing fine at about 100 miles an hour, Chef.
Thank God. But, like anything else, this, there's good days, bad days, but we live in this thing and we base off three things: empathy, integrity, the will to be better today than yesterday.
Well said.
And so that's how we keep our head and keep going. And in the tough times, we lean on each other. That's all we can do. We lean on each other, try to weather the storm together.
Excellent advice. Chef, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
No, thank you. Seriously, this was fun.
What you've accomplished is remarkable.
Hey, listen, you got to come back to Oklahoma, man.
I'll come back.
I'm going to hold you hostage for that.
I will. Hey, I just want to walk into the Skirvin for the first time in decades.
Yeah, there you go. Well, listen, keep my information, and when you're coming, you got to let me know, okay?
I promise, and thank you.
Yes. Don't be a stranger at all. Let me know. Would love to host you here. Would love to show you around. You're not going to believe. This is a wonderful, wonderful state. Great people, great food, and you haven't seen nothing yet.
I'll be there.
All righty. Thank you.
Andrew Black on Culinary Characters Unlocked. I'm David Page. I'll see you next time. And hey, tell a friend to check us out wherever they get their podcasts.